Now, as you know, President Bola Tinubu has imposed a state of emergency in Rivers State. He's suspended the governor, Sim Fubara, his deputy, and the state assembly. The announcement coincided with a fire at a strategic pipeline, the Trans-Niger oil pipeline in the state. It has a capacity of around 450,000 barrels a day and delivers crude from onshore oil fields to the Bonny export terminals. Militants in the past have attacked pipelines, but so far there's been no claim of responsibility. The president's declaration of a state of emergency has to be approved by the National Assembly, but the Senate has adjourned today without resolving the matter. Meanwhile, lawyers and the main opposition parties are challenging the president's decision. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the lawyer and good governance activist Deji Adenaju, who is one of those challenging the president's decision to impose a state of emergency on Rivers State. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for
coming in. So a dramatic 24 hours of developments in Rivers State, culminating, as we said, in the imposition of a state of emergency, and now a legal challenge by lawyers and opposition parties. How much of an earthquake has it been?
Well, simply put, the president does not have the powers to suspend the governor. It's akin to saying somebody making a press conference and suspending the president. The president is elected, he's an elected official, an elected member of government. The president represents the generality of Nigerians. The governor of Rivers State, the members of House of Assembly of Rivers State, they represent the generality of the Rivers people. So they are not appointees of the president. They are not aides of the president. The principle of he who hires fires cannot apply in the instant case. Therefore, the president cannot just wake up after eating amala and fire them.
Is that what he ate?
I suspect much.
I like amala.
Yes,
I think it's very tasty.
Indeed it is. But he just cannot do this. It will be it's seriously a mockery, because it's like President Trump just waking up and sacking the governor of California.
Yeah, that's a good point. However, we're not in America, we're in Nigeria, as I'm sure you well know.
Yes, our system of government, our constitution, they are alike on issue of the powers of the president.
But that imposition of a state of emergency has now gone to the National Assembly. It's been gazetted, which means that potentially it will become law. If the National Assembly were to muster the 2/3 majority in favor of the president, that would essentially be it, wouldn't it?
But this is to tell you that this president does not believe in rule of law. He does anything he likes. The Constitution is very clear. Before you do this, you must take certain steps. The steps were not taken.
Yeah, but that's why there are checks and balances.
Now the president,
and a check would be the National Assembly.
Now the president has done it. Has even sworn in a new governor for Rivers State.
Well, he's sworn in an administrator.
Yeah, he's a governor. So he has sworn in a new governor.
I like that.
He has sworn in a new governor for Rivers State. He has not gotten the 2/3 majority, but he has done it anyway. So what he's saying is, I don't need the National Assembly for anything. I don't even need the electorate. The people of Rivers State who voted Sim Fubara, who also voted for Bola Tinubu, he's saying he doesn't need them.
Well, he didn't say that.
No, that's what he's saying by his actions. The implication
right.
of his action is that I don't need these people. But I can so much on my own do whatever I like.
But he did say, though, that he had sent it to the National Assembly for the Assembly's assent.
So why didn't he wait for the National Assembly to assent?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because he doesn't. This man bought a presidential jet without approval till today. He bought, so he has been doing, and this is a Nadeko man who fled the country under Abacha. Nadeko man. He fled the country under Abacha.
And Nadeko, just for our international audience, are a group of people who fought to restore democracy in Nigeria.
And when he was running away, he ran away because of the tyranny of Abacha. Today, look at the thing that he's doing. See, another very fascinating thing is that this man has been consistently saying things like this. You cannot declare state of emergency. You cannot remove a governor. He condemned the Obasanjo.
He did say it in the past.
He even condemned Goodluck Jonathan that declared state of emergency, but he didn't remove the governor. Now he has come on board. Not only has he declared a state of emergency, he has also removed the governor. He has suspended the governor from office. The president cannot suspend the governor. That's what we are saying. Section 305 of the Constitution that talks about issues of state of emergency. Yes, we consider the president has constitutional powers to declare state of emergency. But there are condition precedents in that section. There are provisos in that section that says, oh, times of war, breakdown law and order, natural disasters, maybe like COVID, then other issues that have already been encapsulated in that section. None of those issues have arisen in the instant case. There is no breakdown of any law and order in Rivers State. And again, if we were even being truthful, what the president should have done was to call for an investigation into the bombing of the pipeline. I mean, Wike should be the number one prime target of the person to be investigated.
Yes, Wike is a minister of
minister of FCT. Yes, he's the person.
Political conflict.
Yes, he's the person who is likely to benefit.
Right.
He's the person who is likely to benefit.
Okay, if
there is political instability in Rivers State.
Let me ask you this.
And he's the person benefiting now.
Because, I mean, we have to move on a practical level. I mean, I understand the points that you're making, but practically speaking, that issue has been sent to the National Assembly. The National Assembly now has to vote on it, and if he gets 2/3 majority, it'll pass, and essentially that state of emergency would have been imposed. Shouldn't you and all the other lawyers and rights activists be at the National Assembly lobbying lawmakers? Because that's where it's all going to go down, isn't it? On a practical level. I mean, it's not going to go down, even though it's important to enlighten people, it won't go down in this television studio. I mean, you need to be lobbying them, as I'm sure the president's men and women are lobbying the people in the National Assembly.
Why go lobby Godswill Akpabio and these people? Whatever the president wants with them, he will get it. They've said it. They said anything the president wants is what they want. Now, the president doesn't even want them. The president does not even need them. The president has done it. He has already sworn in a governor in Rivers State. Who needs National Assembly? The president doesn't need them. He doesn't need them for anything. All they'll be trying to do now is to do eye service to please the president. But the president has, by his action, has shown that I don't need you people for anything. The president does not need them. If I were in their shoes, there's no need to deliberate any issue. The deed has been done.
Well, we've had people...
Soldiers surrounded Rivers State Government House yesterday night. Surrounded the governor.
Yeah, well...
Governor Sim Fubara...
To be fair...
Governor Sim Fubara is still the governor of Rivers State as of today, constitutionally speaking.
Right.
What Governor Sim Fubara needs to do is, both Governor Sim Fubara and the Rivers State government should approach the Supreme Court.
Right.
For interpretation.
I was going to ask you, because, I mean, let me just clarify some points. To be fair, our reporter went to Government House, and that there were no soldiers surrounding Government House, but I wanted
there are news reports to this effect.
Yeah, there were reports.
There are news reports to this effect.
Reports were not
news
verified.
Reports to this effect.
I don't know if they've gone there today.
The soldiers surrounded the Government House, and so the governor should go to approach the Supreme Court to ask the Supreme Court whether the president has the power to remove him.
That's what I was going to ask.
Whether the president has the power to remove him via a press conference.
That's what I was going to ask you, because you are among, I mean, the Nigerian Bar Association, opposition parties have all challenged this decision to impose a state of emergency. I was going to ask you, can you still go to court after the National Assembly has made a decision?
You see, you cannot cry more than they bereaved. They bereaved in the instant cases, Governor Sim Fubara, the governor of Rivers State. He should go to court.
Right. He
should go and challenge the unconstitutional act of the president. The president does not have the power. We all know. Even the president knows that he does not have the power to remove the governor via the press conference. Because it's like synonymous to say, and this was the same man who was condemning, you remember, he was condemning the anti-democratic issues in Mali and the neighboring states just recently. And he's doing same. You cannot deepen democracy by attacking democratic institutions. It makes no sense that these are people that were elected just like you. It's like somebody sitting somewhere doing a press conference to remove the vice president from office or to remove President Tinubu from office. It will be unacceptable. It does not matter who is affected. The most important thing is that when the wrong thing is done, everybody, because it's not about Sim Fubara, it's not about Rivers State, it's about that if this is allowed, if this is permitted, it becomes a bad precedent. The idea that, Obasanjo did it, those were unconstitutional acts. We were just coming out of the military. Obasanjo had a military mentality. They were doing these unconstitutional things. But Nigeria has gone beyond. After all, state of emergency was declared under the Goodluck Jonathan, but the governor was not suspended or removed from office. So
it was a different situation, though, wasn't it?
In fact, this situation is not even up to that one.
Right.
And the provision for removing the governor is there in the Constitution, Section 188 of the Constitution. If you want to remove the governor, impeach him, or the governor can be removed via the proceedings in court, either pre-election or post-election issues.
Okay.
But none of those issues or instances have arisen on Rivers, and the president has removed him. And not only has the president removed him, the president now we are hearing that after the removal, they have ordered that Rivers resources and funds should be released to the new governor, or should I say administrator. Come on, we know what is going on here.
So what's your final word on this, beyond sort of, I mean, the fact that, because as I said, there are things that are in the pipeline that nobody can stop. I mean, it's gone to the National Assembly. If it is ratified by the National Assembly, it becomes essentially law. And then what happens after that? Potentially, the aggrieved party, if there is one, can challenge it in the Supreme Court, but purely for a constitutional interpretation.
You see, the president must know that there's nothing that Wike is doing to him or telling him today that will be remembered for posterity's sake. The person that will be remembered for all these unconstitutional acts is the president. The president must stop continually listening to people that are giving him bad advice. People are watching. The Americans, the Europeans, everybody is watching and wondering what is wrong with this man. Even the children are watching. His kids are watching. You have stood against this president. Is someone who has been consistent to be saying anti-democratic steps are wrong. You have stood against things like this in the past. You have condemned them. Why all of a sudden are you doing the same thing that you have condemned?
Okay.
And why the president can reverse some of these steps? And if he reverses them, it will be a plus for him. And there's nothing wrong in saying, oh, I was ill-advised, I made a poor judgment on this particular issue, and I'm reconsidering, after careful understanding of what is going on, in 2 weeks, in a week's time, and the president...
We're going to be watching that space very closely, but I want to thank you very much indeed for coming in. Deji Adenaju is a lawyer and a good governance activist. Thank you very much indeed.